Hi, and welcome to Letcher County Central High School. I'm Dr. Scotty Billiter. I am proud to serve as the principal of LCC and to serve you as principal. I'm looking forward to your return to school. I know November 4th has been the date that has been set aside for us to return in person. I am so excited, and I know I speak on behalf of our staff when I say that we are eagerly awaiting your return. We welcome you with open arms on November 4th, and we've all been waiting since March 13th for your return to our school. We've missed you and we can't wait to see you. But as you do return, we are going to share some of the changes that you will experience. This is all of our Healthy at School Working Together guidelines. And I just want to go over a few of those along with Ms. Wampler, our assistant principal, and the other assistant principal, Mr. Roddy Kraft. You'll see them shortly on video, and they'll be sharing some other ideas with you. But the first things I want to talk to you about are social distancing and face coverings. As you see, I'm wearing a face covering, and I continually keep it up on my face. We need to maintain 6 feet of social distance and wear face coverings at all times. You'll notice when you come into school, the hallways are all marked one direction. So every hallway is one way, and they're marked in the hallway, kind of like you've seen in the local stores. That is to keep traffic moving in that direction so that we don't cross over each other to try to prevent the spread of this virus. Spaces are also marked throughout the school indicating 6 feet so that you can see what 6 feet looks like when you're here, and also that helps guide you in your social distancing. We're also going to stagger the arrival and dismissal times. We'll have buses arriving at one time, we'll have parent drop-offs at another, and our staff has a time that they're designated to be here prior to your arrival. We also ask that as you come into school, if you're a parent drop-off or if you're a staff member, that you don your face mask upon exiting your car, and then you proceed to one of our entries. We'll have 4 entries of our school. The first one will be down by the gym, and that's where the bus riders will enter. We also have exit 1 that I'm standing in front of here, the front doors to the school. We'll have students entering there based on your drop-off. Then down by Mr. Paul Boggs' room, exit number 2, we'll have an entry point there. And then also at vocational school will be an entry point there. So there are 4 entries into our school each morning. We ask that you do maintain social distancing as you're entering, and that you wear a face mask, a face covering your nose and your chin. You'll also have your temperatures checked there. So we'll have staff at each one of these locations checking you, screening your health as you come in to make sure that we're all healthy and we're taking care of each other. We also ask parents that before students leave home that you check their temperature. If a student has a temperature of 100 degrees or higher, we ask that you keep that child at home and work virtually that day. Like I mentioned, we will have staff at each entry point, and they'll be checking staff and student and visitor temperatures as they enter our building. 100 degrees is the criteria that we're going to establish as an exclusion, and that's when we will begin following with the student to make sure that they are healthy and that they are okay. Some of the other exclusion criteria that we will use in determining whether you're allowed to come to school or not will be a cough, gastrointestinal problems such as vomiting and diarrhea, a loss of taste or smell, a sore throat, a runny nose, shortness of breath, new muscle aches, chills, and or if you have been exposed to a person who has tested positive for COVID-19 48 hours prior to their positive test results. Those are all exclusions, and what that means is that you will stay at home that day and work virtually. If while at school you exhibit any of these symptoms, we will go ahead and call our school nurse, and we will escort that student to be checked by the nurse, and then we will contact the parents and follow up as necessary and as guidelines indicate. We'll keep sanitizing all of our environmental factors here at school. All of our surfaces will be cleaned after each student leaves a desk or an area. We'll sanitize that. Daily cleaning and disinfection of school facilities will be conducted throughout the day. Buses will be sanitized by the bus driver after each route. Deep cleaning by custodial staff will occur each evening, and the spigot on each water fountain will be covered and unavailable. However, the food service program will provide small individual bottles of water for students at different pickup locations in the school. So you'll still be able to get your water, it's just we won't be having any, we're trying to eliminate as many touch surfaces as we can. Contact tracing, your teachers and others working with students will keep a seating chart for each location where a person inside the school sits. There will be directional signage to monitor the flow of traffic inside the building throughout the day also. Bathroom breaks. Restrooms will be assigned based on the location of the classroom in which the student is assigned for that particular time. All teachers will maintain a bathroom log in order to allow for contact tracing. The log will be maintained and used only by the teacher to prevent cross-contamination from person to person. Bathrooms will be opened between classes and will be closely monitored by those who do daily bathroom duties. So we will still have teachers on bathroom duty, and we will monitor the traffic and the numbers that are entering the restrooms to prevent overcrowding, cross-contamination, and to allow for social distancing. Lockers, students will not be permitted to use lockers until further notice. This will help with the flow of students from one location to another. The transition of classes, all students who are attending school will change classes just as we've always done. We will continue to ring our bells, and you will continue to move from one point to the other upon that ringing. However, you will need to remember to travel in the direction of the hallways. So there may be some planning on your part from getting from one class period to another based on the direction of the hallways.
It's almost time for the bell to ring. You can put your Chromebooks away. Let's discuss our route to the next class so we can make sure we're going down each hallway correctly. Anna, where's your next class?
Miss Bentley.
Okay, so for Miss Bentley Science, you can walk straight down hallway D, turn left, go towards the pedway, and then turn left again. This hallway goes that way, so you're good. Luke Holcomb?
It's Paul Boggs downstairs from campus.
Okay, so for Paul Boggs, walk straight down hallway D. The stairway by Mr. Little's room is up only. So you're going to go left, go down the stairs by the pedway. And when you get down, you can't walk right in front of the library because that hallway is also one way only. So go down the stairs, take a right and go all the way down that hallway, come in front of the office, and then walk down hallway A. Paul Boggs' room is at the end of that hallway.
The hallways are marked with directional arrows. They're also marked with 6 feet indicators to let you know what the area is for social distancing. I appreciate your adherence to these guidelines. These are all developed by the Centers for Disease Control and our local and state health department agencies in conjunction with our school system. We're all doing these things to help keep you and us safe so that we can continue on in school. I am excited that you're coming. I look forward to seeing each one of you as you arrive on Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday. And also, I'm excited to see our students who are virtual. I care deeply about each one of you, and I want nothing but the best for you. I'm always available. If you have a problem or an issue, I'm available. I'm your principal. I serve you, and I want to see you succeed. That is my biggest goal for all of us, is your success and staying healthy and doing so. Thank you very much, and let's go Cougars.
Good afternoon. I am Jennifer Wampler, and I am one of your assistant principals here at Letcher Central. I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking to you this afternoon about the arrival procedures when you return to school. Normally, we have students report to the gym or to the cafeteria until the first bell rings to begin the school day. However, in order to include social distancing in our plan, we are going to have students report first to their first period class. So that's a little bit different than what you've done. When you get to school, you're going to enter one of 4 entry points and then go directly to your first period. I'll talk to you a little bit about those entry points in just a moment. Before I get to that, I want to explain the arrival times. We are trying to stagger the times that students will arrive at school. So we are having our buses arrive at 7:45, and they will of course be coming at different times. But most students who ride a bus will not get to school until 7:45 now. And then in addition, we are asking the parents, if you are going to drop your students off at school, we ask you to bring them at 7:45. Our plan is to have those 2 drop-offs complete before we have our student drivers arrive at 7:55. So once more, 7:45 arrival for bus riders, 7:45 arrival for parent drop-offs, and a 7:55 arrival for student drivers. Breakfast will be served as students walk into the building. They will actually pick up their breakfast just like you have always done at whatever entry point you have or you make when you get to school. Listen very carefully to this part. This will tell you what entry you are going to use when you arrive at school. This is going to be determined by your first period class. So if you have first period in hallways A, hallway B, or hallway E, you are going to be dropped off at the flagpole. So your parents will enter the parking lot of what we call the faculty parking lot. You will stop at the flagpole, you will exit your vehicle, and then you are going to enter the school through the main foyer where the Cougar is, the main lobby. One more time, if your first period is in hallways A, B, or E, you will be dropped off at the flagpole through the faculty parking lot, and you will enter the building through the main doors, and then you will go directly to your first period class. There will be signs on the door and on the floor directing the flow of traffic. You will also have your temperature taken at your drop-off point before entering the building. Now, entry point 2 is going to be the doorway next to the student parking lot, down by Mr. Paul Boggs' classroom. Those students who have first period in hallways D, hallways F, or in Mr. Paul Boggs' classroom will enter the building through entry point 2 and have your temperature taken there before going directly to your first period class. Again, temperatures will be taken at that entry point and breakfast will be distributed as well. Entry point 3 will be those students who have first period in the Area Technology Center. You will be dropped off directly at the entry of the Area Technology Center, and you will enter through the main doors of that building where your temperature will be taken and your breakfast will also be distributed. Entry point 4 will be the gym doors, and that entry will only be used for students who ride a bus. So buses will drop students off at the gym entry, and your temperature will be taken, breakfast will be distributed, and then you will enter the building through the gym and then enter into the main lobby and then go directly to your first period class. I also want to talk to you a little bit about your class schedule. Be mindful, which I'm sure you already realize, that your classes are 1 hour long this year. Since we are on an abbreviated school year, classes last longer than they have in the past. The only thing that is going to change during this hybrid plan when we actually have students in the building is your fourth period lunch schedule. You will only have lunch for the 25-minute period that you normally have in a regular school year. We have been utilizing an hour-long lunch break for students so that buses could deliver lunches to your homes. But since that is not going to take place now, you are actually going to be back on a normal lunch schedule, even for those of you who are at home doing virtual instruction on the days that you are not in school. Lunch is going to be, if you have classrooms, your fourth period class is downstairs. You will eat first lunch, and that lunch period will be from 11:16 to 11:41. Then if you have upstairs classes upstairs during fourth period, then you will eat second lunch, and that will be from 12:16 to 12:41. Now we're going to share those times with you through your Google Classrooms as well, but I wanted to clarify for those of you who will be virtual, the days that you are not at school, lunch will no longer run for 1 hour from 11 to 12. You will synchronize your lunch schedule with your fourth period, and you will have a 25-minute lunch break in there. Also, quite different than years past, lunches are going to be delivered to your fourth period classroom each day that you are in school. And they probably will arrive about 5 minutes before your lunch period so that teachers have time to distribute those lunches, and then you will sit in that 4th period classroom and eat your lunch. So we realize that some of you like to bring your lunch from home, and that is perfectly fine. We normally have microwaves available in the cafeteria that you can use, but we wanted to point out that that is not going to be an option for you during this time. So if you choose to bring your lunch, please be mindful that you have to keep that lunch with you throughout the day, since we will not be utilizing lockers at this time, and there will not be a microwave available to you. So you can bring your lunch, bring whatever you want, just don't plan on being able to use a microwave, and be mindful that whatever you pack will need to be carried with you from class to class.
Hey, for those of you who don't know me already, I'm Mr. Kraft, one of your assistant principals, and there's just a couple things that I want to talk to you about today. As far as those of you who are going to be coming back with us in person. Now, remember, our schedule is going to be 2 days a week in person, and the other 3 are going to be just like what you've been doing. You're going to be at home doing things virtually, but you'll still be in school 5 days a week in some capacity. Either you're here in person or you're at home. As far as which groups are which, your teachers are going to have a list of those. They're going to be able to go through that with you. They're going to be able to tell you what days that you'll be coming on, and you'll either be a Monday, Wednesday in-person group or a Tuesday, Thursday. No one will be here in person on Fridays. And as soon as that is solidified and we know exactly which days everybody will be here, then that information is going to be getting out to you. And when you see this video, you may have already gotten that information, and that's great if so. One thing I want to really emphasize is your Chromebooks. So when you come here in person, yeah, you're going to be live, you're going to be with your teachers, you're going to want to bring pencil, paper, those types of things, but you have to bring your Chromebook to work with every single day too. And not just your Chromebook, bring your charger. So if that thing runs down, we're going to need it through 7 periods. And that's, sometimes that's a long day, and we want to make sure that we have what we need to work with. And as a matter of fact, it needs to be a priority that the evening before you're due to come in person, you charge your Chromebook. So we want to have a full charge on that thing when you show up at school that day. I encourage you to bring a backpack so that you can carry these things, and we're not trying to carry them in our hands from class to class. It's going to make things a lot easier for you if you do that. Now, next thing I want to talk about, your routes for when we change classes. So, one of the requirements is that everybody is going one way, and we don't cross each other in the stairways, in the hallways, whatever, if at all possible. So we've got everything marked off to be one way. We have arrows on the floors, we'll have signs, we'll have people to remind you. And now, just making sure we understand, if you come on day 1, and you start down the wrong hallway, there's not going to be sirens go off. Nobody's going to turn attack dogs loose on you or anything like that. Somebody's just going to remind you, hey, you need to go the other way. If that were the case, and I would never be able to go in Walmart again because I tend to go down the wrong aisle sometimes. Anyway, we're going to talk about all these things. And of course, if you're in a situation where you're on crutches or you can't use the stairs, when we talk about stairs, yeah, we're going to make arrangements for you to be able to use the elevator just like we always would. So before I start talking about specific places, freshmen, I'm talking to you right now, our goal is on your first day here to get you in some small groups. You never got to do an orientation and see what the building physically looks like. You've probably seen the gym and the football field and places like that, but you don't know what the building looks like. So what we want to do is hopefully be able to pull you in small groups and take you on a little tour so that you're more comfortable and how everything flows. So before I go into any more of that, let's just kind of get a visual picture of what I'm talking about with certain areas. It's going to be real easy to follow. You can see where the floor is marked one way, and of course this is going to be for us to change classes. So this hallway would be one way all the way through, and all it is a big rectangle anyway. So basically, you're just going one way all the way around downstairs and upstairs. Now, this is not going to apply to dismissal. Those will be a little different, but remember, what I'm showing you right now is for when you change classes throughout the day. Guys, just so you have an idea of which places I'm talking about, we're looking down what I would call the main hallway. You know, right here's your auditorium. You're looking at what I'm going to refer to as the main stairway. It's down there by the band room. Off this hallway is hallway A, and if you get down that way and turn right, that's hallway B. So just so you know which stairways I'm talking about and so forth, just want to give you a little visual reference here. Changing classes, guys, this stairway is going to be one way. It's going to be up. All right, we're only going to use that to go upstairs during the day, and as a matter of fact, when you arrive in the morning, some of you will be going up these steps. So this is stairway 1, the one by the band room that we just looked at. These are going to be up only when we change classes. All right, so guys, we're in what we call hallway C, still downstairs. This is the library. It's the one with all the glass. It's very easy to find. And we have 2 other sets of stairs. This first one right here, we're going to call this stairway number 2. If Ms. Wampler or Dr. Builder referred to entry 2, exit number 2, it's this one right here. The parking lot is out there behind you. This is Paul Boggs' classroom. These stairs are also up. So when we change classes, these take you upstairs. So some of you would use these to go upstairs. Some of you would use stairway 1 to go upstairs according to whichever's closest to where you're trying to get to. Now, if we want to swing around and look at the opposite end, the third set of stairs that we have in our building, this is stairway 3. Now, of course, you probably figured that out. This one's going to be down. So if you're coming downstairs, these are the stairs that you're going to use. The reason being, those are the closest to the breezeway that go over to the ATC, Area Technology Center, Vocational School, whatever you want to call it. Those are going to be the stairs that you're going to use to come down. So we pretty much have 3. 2 of them are on opposite ends of each other. 2 up and 1 down. Now, of course, when we talk about dismissal later, all of them are going to be down because that's how you're going to have to get downstairs. So it's kind of like Nicholasville Road after a UK game. All the lanes turn into one way. So it's kind of the same premise. We're all going to go downstairs when it's time to go home.
Hi guys, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the dismissal process at the end of the day. We're going to divide you into 4 groups. The first group we will dismiss will be the early buses. The second group will be parent pickups. The third group will be student drivers. And the fourth group will be those students who ride those last 3 or 4 buses that come late in the afternoon. Where you exit the building will be determined by where you are located 7th period. So I'll get to those exit points in a minute. If you are riding a bus, all bus riders will exit the building through the main lobby doors so that you are actually entering right where the buses are waiting on you. Again, bus riders will exit the building through the main lobby doors so that you can get straight to your bus. If you are a parent pickup or a student driver, you will exit the building at different places depending on where you're located 7th period. If your 7th period is in hallway A, D, or F, you are going to exit the building through point 2. That is the exit point next to Mr. Paul Boggs' classroom. If you are in hallways B and E, you are going to exit the building through the main double doors. If you are students who are in the ATC, the Area Technology Center, of course you will exit through the main doors at the Area Technology Center. Students are asked to walk directly to the car so that we do not have groups congregating, so that we can prevent the social distancing. Also, as far as where your parents will pick you up, those of you who are parent pickups, that will also be determined by which exit point you use. If you are exiting the building from point 2, that's hallways A, D, and F, then your parents are asked to pick you up in the student parking lot. If you are exiting the building through the main double doors, and that's hallways B and E, we are asking that your parents pick you up in the faculty parking lot, which is where they have always done that. We are dividing the parent pickups to 2 different parking lots so we don't have a large group waiting. So I want to clarify that one more time. If your parents are picking you up and you are exiting the buildings through hallway A, D, or F at point 2, your parents will be waiting on you in the student parking lot. If you are exiting the building through the main double doors, that's hallways B and E, your parents are asked to pick you up in the student parking lot. Student drivers, this part is for you. We're going to dismiss you immediately after the parking lots are clear from the parent pickups so that we don't have a lot of traffic bottlenecking there. So you will be called down in staggered numbers, and we're going to base it again on hallways. We're going to dismiss you by those, and then you're going to exit through those doors and go to the student parking lot. At that point, we will then call all students who are remaining in their 7th period classrooms, assuming that you are all bus riders. We're going to call you to the main lobby. We're going to have labels on the floor to allow you to social distance, and you will wait there until the final bus arrives.
So now you've been around the school and you've seen all the different changes that are going to take place this year as we return in person on November 4th. We are excited and cannot wait to see each one of you coming through the doors, and those of you who are choosing to stay at home virtually, we'll pop in and see you guys virtually. But know that we're always here for you. Anything that we can do to make your experience here at Letcher County Central High School better, please let us know. Remember that we're all in this together, and we will get through this together. And just remember, let's go Cougars, and mask up, Cougars.